Next up, we've got yet another game that was originally released by Melbourne House, and it's also another fighting game, and it's called Street Hassle, originally released on the Mastertronic Plus packaging. So let's load it up and check it out. Okay, so front cover. One thing I didn't mention about these Mastertronic Plus releases, when they re-release games in this packaging, they come up with new artwork for them, whereas the Ricochet ones just reuse the original artwork. So this is new artwork, and as you can see, it's got a man with a large quiff style hairdo, looks a bit like Vanilla Ice, fighting with a gorilla on the front. All will be explained soon, I'm sure. Spine's the usual sort of thing, $2.99 game, and the back's the usual sort of thing as well. So we've got some screenshots of bloke on the street fighting. There he is fighting the gorilla, and little intro to the game. Wearing golden battle shorts and armed with naked fists, you control our hero's personal vendetta to clean up the streets. Sounds slightly worrying. Inside we've got some loading instructions. We've got the controls. These moves are not aggressive moves and have no effect upon the creatures. Aggressive moves are selected by selecting a direction on the joystick when the fire button is pressed. Okay, and there are all those aggressive moves. Blah blah blah. Nothing really of interest there. It's got the controls and various options. Looks like it does support 2 players as well. And also we've got this well-odd t-shirt offer again, and that's pretty much it. Here's the title screen then. As you can see, it says Street Hassle. It's got the details of who developed it. Oh, we've gone into a demo mode. Let's go back to the title screen there. So you've got programmed by Andrew Davey and David Pentecost, art by Russell Compte, copyright Beam Software. This was originally published by Melbourne House. That's quite annoying in one way. So you've got various options there. Choose the stage you want to play on, number of players 1 or 2, number of joysticks, and F7 to start. And as you've seen already, if you leave it too long on the title screen, it goes into a rolling demo of the gameplay. So we'll just have a quick look at that. He's not very good, this guy, on the demo. Okay, and there's also a high score table. So let's get the game started. So as you've already seen, there's some nice big chunky sprites in this game. Very nicely animated and cartoony style. The music plays in the background until you start fighting with someone, and then it sort of fades into the background. So the idea is, it's a basic sort of beat 'em up. You walk along the street, you've got to beat up everyone on the street. And that includes a quite unusual set of people. You can jump, you can duck, you can jump in a diagonal like that, very nicely animated. As you can see, there's gorillas on the street for some reason, not entirely sure why. When you hold down the fire button, you've got 4 different moves to choose from. If you push up, then you punch. If you push down, you do a kind of grab which trips people up. If you push in the direction you're facing, you do a grab which turns into a headbutt, and you can also, if you push in the direction that you're not facing, you do a roundhouse kick. So those are the moves. So let's go and kick some ass on the street. So now I'm beating up an old granny. As you can see, she's not very happy. And there's also blind guys who seem to wield their white sticks like swords. Oh, and there goes a life, with a very comical sort of noise. So that's the sort of headbutt move. There's a kick, trip, and the punch. Knocks him out pretty quickly. Tripping up's quite amusing. Doesn't actually get rid of any of their energy though. This little funny little thing with a top hat on that can sort of squelching onto the screen, and kind of pink slug it looks like with a top hat on, that actually gives you a power up which restores your health. I've also got the bulldog, which we'll deal with him in a moment. The gorilla is probably the most difficult thing to kill, but to be honest it's not very challenging. It's good fun, and the animation's great, the sound's good, the background graphics are nice, the characters are big and chunky and I say kind of cartoony style. There's an old lady throwing a handbag at me multiple times. Best way to get the dog when he comes towards you is to try and trip him up. He says, "Nice boy," and then that's the only one that when you trip him up it drains his health. Everything else you have to beat them in a different way. And that's the end of the first level. You get a bonus for the remaining time. And level 2 is pretty much exactly the same, with one difference, which is that, as well as a few more baddies, enemies, if you can call blind people and old ladies enemies, you've actually got some different moves. So for example, now if you push up, you can actually swing the guy around and hurl him to the edge of the screen. And if you push towards him, you do this sort of, I don't know, face wobbling thing. Ooh, that's a bomb. I've not seen that before. There goes another life. But apart from that, basically the moves are exactly the same. The object of the game is exactly the same as well. It's beat up old ladies and blind guys mostly, which a little bit on the un-PC side. But there you go. There's one of those life power-ups. So I've now moved on to level 3, which seems to take place in a park, and it's much the same, except now you've got some more new moves. Still got the kick, still got the trip, but you've now got a sort of knee lift kind of move and a chest bump, which is kind of interesting. But otherwise it's much the same, the enemies are the same, and the aim of the game is the same, just to basically wipe them out as quickly as you can without getting killed. So in summary, it's quite a nice game. It's fun for about 10 minutes and then it's pretty boring, very repetitive, not many moves, not even much of a challenge. The only real challenge is when 2 or 3 adversaries come on the screen at once. It gets a bit more difficult to avoid getting hit, so the lives do run out eventually. I say, oh, this is new, I've not seen this before. This must be the end of level boss. It didn't last very long with him. So I'll just try and get back to him again. And I got wiped out by him again, and that's game over. So there is something to aim for in the game that I hadn't seen previously, but overall it's not very exciting. Very nicely put together, good music, sounds good, graphics are great on it, It's just lacking a bit of depth in the gameplay. Worth $2.99 back in the day? Yeah, probably just about. I think it's definitely good fun for about 10 or 15 minutes, and one to show your friends, I guess, as well.